narrative's been spun on that side. I mean, that's why we were blocked and everything, and we didn't get an opportunity to voice our opinions. And every time that we would voice anything or get voiced, we got deleted. I mean, that's the narrative they have to spin, is that we're the bad guy, but we're not. We were never the bad guy in this. You
Well,
know?
I feel like a lot of dudes are like, because I see guys like Mario Chavez. He's like, I like to be friends with everyone, so I don't have to worry about it. No, you like to be friends with everyone, so you can. You're not burning no bridges. Like, I mean, like this dude is like, I'm cool. Like, I'm cool with Eric Bland, but fuck Luke the window cleaner. I mean, what?
Right. Right.
What?
Don't make sense.
You know what I mean? And that's clearly, clearly that was all. I mean, this dude wasn't gonna buy a gunslinger. He didn't buy one.
Right.
When
No, I mean,
Mario didn't go out.
Think about
Mario
that.
didn't go out and buy a lot of these
Between
dudes
our-
that are.
Between all our YouTube channels, everything that we do, this dude's got more free shit than all of us combined.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, he's got how many polls and
Yeah.
like, wow.
Well, I mean, I don't know what polls he's gotten for free or anything, but my point is when the Gunslinger was released, he didn't buy one.
No.
It wasn't on the Gunslinger train until we hopped off of it.
Right.
That's the point. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, and I don't, I'm not just,
But why would we
I'm
hop
not
off?
dissing the dude for that, but I don't appreciate the kind of the slights that are given. You know what I mean? Because first of all, I sent you a free Tucker brush. You know what I mean? That's the first thing. And as soon as I send you the free Tucker brush, you flip the script on me. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, poor Perry, poor Perry. Listen, how can you be pissed off at us for bringing to everyone's attention what Perry's doing to us behind the scenes, and eventually giving Richie a platform to be like, look, he's doing the same thing to me, and now we're all assholes. We should just keep our mouths shut. We shouldn't say nothing about this, but it's okay for dudes to shit. I mean, it's all good in the hood when we're shitting on WCR and Luke the window cleaner.
Right.
But if we're not shitting on those guys, we're turncoats. You know what I mean? Listen, just
Perry started that whole let's mend bridges things, but he was trying to be the
that was well after. That was well after we had the pot had been stirred and everything was set into motion. Once everything was set into motion and all of that negative press and all that was already out there, then he was like, I'm trying to eliminate the negativity and bring the community together. You know what I mean?
Right.
And all
As
the
he's
whole
stirring the pot
time,
in the background.
the whole time in the background, stirring the pot in the background.
Right.
You know, it's like, dude, and then that's kind of like, for me, that was like an awakening there. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, like I
this
told you
dude's
guys
saying
earlier.
this dude's saying this privately, and then publicly he's saying that. It's like you've turned us into you're like we're a dog on a chain. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? And filling our heads full of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Make us look like the bad guys in this whole situation.
Exactly.
Like I told you earlier. I mean, it takes a special kind of guy to think of him as a higher platform, and that he's that social media wizard, and that he's this marketing guru, and the only thing he does is go out and grab other people's ideas and snatches them, and then he destroys them, and then just takes them, and he keeps everything for himself.
This is one thing I want to make obvious here. I mean, you can see, like right here. They'll probably try to pull my video down for this, but I have the Gunslinger logo up right now. Okay, and let's just start off with this. The Gunslinger wasn't the Gunslinger until when was that, Tim?
January of 18.
Okay, and what happened that this turned into the logo? I mean, you could see this logo here, and then you look over my right my right shoulder here, and you can see the logo behind me on the mirror. Similar, and the one over Tim's right shoulder. The similarities are uncanny, but there was a discussion.
I started to become involved in the whole tip jar thing. I was part of the prototypers, and then you became part of the prototypers. So Gunslinger, created amongst outlaws would be a perfect sales pitch.
Right.
You know what I mean? The group was growing.
Right.
You know, we were getting some attention. The traction was starting.
You could see all the way through the whole marketing of the Gunslinger, the promotion of the Gunslinger, and the development of the Gunslinger, our involvement in it the
Right.
whole time. You could see I mean, anyone with any kind of, I mean, if you look at the timeline, you go to IWCA, their tip jars when you go down to IWCA. You
Right.
send us a message from the IWCA show talking about how you've spoken to Harrison and some things are going to change. He's got some ideas, and that's when it was changed to the Gunslinger. After he
Right.
spoke to you, they wanted to make a play off of our logo.
Right.
Correct?
Well, I mean, it was before IWCA because they had everything printed up as the Gunslinger. That's when
Okay.
the graphics started coming in and stuff like that. But I mean, you
But
look
there
at the
was a
Gunslinger,
conversation.
the Gunslinger's guy got the bandana like Outlaw has. You know, it's obviously a play off what we were
Right.
doing. The
Right.
group.
So that, yeah, I mean, it's clear. You
Right.
know what I mean? It was a tip
Right.
jar. It was something. I mean, there's a 4-hour video on there. They were going to call it the Viper or something like that. Because there
Right.
was all kinds of promotional. They tried to do promotional video, calling it the Viper. It wasn't until later that they. I mean, obviously, it's a play off of us.
Right. Right.
Obviously.
Well, I mean, he
Okay.
sold a lot through the group too. I
Yeah.
mean, but we were using prototypes at the time, and we're the
Right.
biggest cheerleaders for this product at that point because we
I
had the
still
original
am. I still
prototype.
am. I still am. I
Right.
still believe in what Richie gave me. I still
So
believe in it.
if you look at our videos and you look at our timeline, we promoted this product until the launch, literally. It
Yeah.
was, I mean, I think we both did an unboxing video, but we really stopped doing promotion as soon as the launch happened. And I
Right.
did that on purpose. You know what I mean? Because that means that guys have these in their hands. Other guys are going to be doing videos. We already
Right.
have the Gunslinger YouTube videos that are saturated. You know what I mean? They're going to be the first ones popping up on people because we have
I
some.
felt like I felt like the I felt like my promotion of I did enough at that point.
Right.
Once the
Right.
pre-order started hitting and people started getting theirs, I had to wait another month for mine. But
Right.
once I got mine, I had a problem immediately. That I
Right.
had, and you know that, because
Well,
you
that's
were
how.
the
That's
first
another.
person. You were the first person I told. I'm like, I
Right.
got this fucking thing, and it fucking leaks. It's splashing, and it fucking leaks, and you're like, no way, and I'm like, yes way, and you
Because
were
I
like,
got a
well,
good.
you better say something to Richie, and that's when I reached out to Richie, and we had that 3-way call with me, him, and Perry, and I
Right.
was showing them pictures of this is what's wrong. I was sticking my Sorbo channel in the fucking gap in the side of the Gunslinger, which you couldn't do with the prototype. And I was like, man, it's splashing out real bad right here. And he's like, well, it's probably just a splash issue. We'll have to figure out a way to baffle it. And I'm like, well, what we tested didn't need baffling. So, I'm just letting you know that it's off. I feel like,
Got one so on.
yeah, I feel like the back of the Gunslinger, the pattern is too long. It needs to be cinched up. It's too long.
Right.
And he just continued to make them. You know what I mean? He's like,
Right.
it's not leaking, it's splashing. I'm like, okay. And Richie, privately, he's like, listen, what you need to do to find out if it's really leaking or not. He goes, that was pretty dismissive. He goes, and I apologize for that. He goes, just take it, hang it up, and fill it with water. And I did that, and it leaked. So, I was like, well, my Gunslinger's leaking. I sent Perry video of it. I still have the video. I sent Perry a video of it leaking in my shop. He's like, well, I'll replace it. Well, he replaced it a couple months ago. And that was only after I raised a stink. You know what I mean? And that was this one right here. This one, which I don't use, which I'm
Right.
most likely going to never use because I just it's not that it's terrible. It's not. I mean, it seeps in the back. You know what I mean? But it's the dimensions of this is not. This ain't what I tested. This rings the mops out. You know what I mean? It splashes. It's still not right. And I've got a prototype, and I'm just going to use that.
I've got I think it was within a couple weeks after the launch is when we started dealing with the complaints in the background because nobody wanted to make it public. They just kind of used us as the middleman.
Everyone was reaching out to us. That full
Not done
disclosure.
at that point. You know, I'm like,
Full
fuck.
disclosure. Guys started hitting us up
Right.
in private
Right.
message. So that's, we tried to do the right thing by Richie that whole time.
Right.
And Perry, because and let's be honest, we still thought that Perry was okay. We still thought everything was cool, but as time went on through last year and as the season wore on, it seemed to just be more excuse after excuse, right? I mean, it was promise after promise.
Right. Overpromising and under-delivering, but big time.
On everything. And, there's only so much of that you can take as.
And we gave a lot of marketing for this Gunslinger. I mean, do you think the sales? He sold 1,200 Gunslingers. I mean, do you think the sales were a lot out of the group? I mean, from where we were putting up videos and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not going to take sole responsibility for it, but I feel like we put a huge push on it. Nobody else was doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's getting a lot of flack from, WCR and because of the Samurai and all that was going back and forth.
There's a lot of shit going on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
To sell 1,200 of those, that's a crazy amount of numbers. That's a lot of window cleaners spending $100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's $100,000.
That's a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money. I got shit moving around in here. Dude, when I say promises and, there was a lot of promises made, we were told straight, well, this is what happened. I can't remember what had happened. Maybe you can remember, but something happened in August or September. Something happened, and I can't remember what exactly, but it had something to do with you. And it was just before it was a few, like 3-4 weeks before the Kansas City thing happened. Before we went to Kansas City. Remember, he called us both up. Remember, video chatted us to get us because he wanted, and that's when he made. I don't know what, but something happened, and you were like, "Fuck this," and I was like, "I agree." I can't remember what exactly it was, but that's when he made the promise about. He's like, "Listen, what I want to do is I want to monetize Outlaw Window Cleaner. That's what I want to do. I want to monetize Outlaw Window Cleaner. I want to sell Black Diamond Rubber and use Outlaw Window Cleaner's branding."
We were having the delivery issues and shit like that.
That's what it was. The delivery issues.
Like, we were pissed because, we were giving away free T-shirts and shit like that.
We were giving away T-shirts on our dime to cover their fucking horse shit.
There's no communication when they're out of product at all.
Yeah, none. They don't say, "Hey, you're selling 22-inch Sorbo-style rubbers, and we don't have them." You know what I mean?
Right.
So there was a big, and there was a big shit there, because there was a big stink there before that month or so before Kansas City. Black Diamond Rubbers wasn't being shipped; it wasn't going out, and people were buying Legend channels and rubber and all that shit, and the shit wasn't going out, and we just kept getting excuses. And we were like, "Listen, man, we're promoting this Black Diamond squeegee rubber like at every turn. I mean, everywhere."
Yeah, we're trying to create a brand just like you are with the Gunslinger over here. You know what I mean? And you're shitting on us and making us look stupid.
Right. So once all that went down, Perry got into, now it's promise mode is what I call it, where he gets in and he's like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to monetize Outlaw. I want to monetize you guys. I want you guys to come to Kansas City. Everything's on me. It's going to be this extravagant event. It's going to be this, it's going to be that, and I want to package Black Diamond Rubber with your brand on it. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do.
Right.
So if you guys just hang with me, we'll get this done. I'm like, all right, cool. So,
well, don't forget about right before the Gunslinger launch, there was supposed to be a limited edition outlaw window cleaner with Gunslingers,
and that never happened. That never happened.
Supposed to be full back outlaw window cleaner with squeegee life on it and shit. It was going to be badass. And
yeah, and I ended up having to make my own squeegee life Gunslinger to give away, which never got to the dude. I ended up having to just buy him one. I gave him the cash, so like just buy one from him. But anyways, once that was all said, you know, he was like, well, "This is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'd like to do," and I was hesitant. And of course, you are the optimist. We're like, dude, we need, you know, at least to see this through and at least give him a chance. And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, little unbeknownst to us at that time, privately, Richie wasn't getting his royalties paid to him. You know what I'm saying? And we had no idea because Richie's not going to say nothing. So I went to Kansas City, Missouri with Josh, and it was a fucking shit show. It was a shit show. It was cool networking with everybody, but it turned into more of a trip of getting to hang out with guys I wanted to hang out with. And Perry, there was no mention whatsoever, no discussion at all of the Black Diamond Rubber or any of that stuff. You know, the reason why he wanted me to be there, us to be there, it didn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't a thing. You know what I mean? It didn't happen.
You pulled guys there. I mean, you brought guys with you. I mean, you brought how many people with you?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of the dudes that showed up there were pressure washers. There were some window cleaning companies there too, but these are guys that are loyal to Perry. You know what I mean? Of course.
Right.
But I would say some of the heavier hitters showed up because, you know,
outlaw,
out we came. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Mark Tanner and you know.
Mark spending $700 in his store. You know what I mean?
Well, and Joseph and him both working in the store.
Right.
You know, which is another sore spot for me, because you know, I felt like we struck up a pretty good relationship with Joseph while we were there, and there's been a rift created because of this shit. You know, and that's. You know, he's, you know, was adamant about saying that, you know, he can't support what we're saying or how we're doing it. But, not to be an asshole or nothing, but we haven't changed who we are at all for anything. Right. You know what I mean? No, you know what I mean? I'm not loyal to Perry for free shit. I'm not being nice to Perry and letting Perry slide on this shit for water-fed poles for my fucking, what do you want to call those? What does he call those? What does Joseph call those little gatherings for breath?
I don't even know.
Seminars or whatever.
The power washing seminars.
Which is cool. I've got no beef. Right. I think that what they're doing is awesome. But I'm not going to sell my soul to play rock and roll. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be like, you know, I can't be objective in this situation. I mean, when Perry said that in his live stream, he said, if 25% of what has been said is true, I have to reevaluate our friendship. And I know that was Joseph that said that, because Joseph said those exact fucking words to us in private message.
Right.
And I'm not angry with Joe. I'm more or less like, man, what the fuck, bro? You know what I mean? Yeah, let down about the whole situation. Because I feel like you didn't have no problem walking away from our friendship, and you know, because we shouted Joe out constantly all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
And for no other reason, just because I like Joe. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, this whole YouTube social media world's that's why I don't go away from. That's you and Tanner are the only two other people that I really talk to on a daily basis, and, and you know what I mean?
Right.
But I know where we all stand, you know?
Yeah, that deal there with Joe.
But anytime we promote somebody, or anytime you bring somebody in,
it ends up biting us in the ass.
We try to bring somebody in the circle, and then
if 25% of what you're saying is true, I have to reevaluate our friendship. And he just stopped. He stopped commenting on the podcast. He doesn't watch the show. He left the Outlaw Window Cleaner group.
Yeah.
Huh?
He left the group?
He left the Outlaw Window Cleaner group and all of that shit. And then we see that the pressure washing motivation shit is getting sponsored by Reach It. So it's clear why he tanked on us. You know what I'm saying? So
remember,
it's either you don't believe us. It's either you don't believe what we listen. It's either Joseph doesn't believe the things that we're saying, and us and Richie Blue is saying is true, or he's only befriending Perry and standing behind him for fucking free sponsorship for his events. It's one of the two. You know what I mean? So that's another point I'd like to cover. So I like Mario. Mario's I have nothing. I spent a lot of time talking to Mario. I'm a little disappointed in the fact that he's rah sis boom ba Eric fucking bland. That really bothers me a whole bunch because Eric is a piece of shit. It really bothers me that Joe turned his back on us for fucking Perry for either one of those reasons because I'm not a liar. What I've said is the truth. You may not agree with what I'm saying, but when I say something and then Perry comes out with some kind of bullshit counterpoint that's clearly a fucking lie that he's shown publicly that he's lying about, like he'll say,
spinning.
He'll say one thing and then post all those emails, and he posted the email showing that he sold 1,200 fucking gunslingers. He was going to give Richie $600. Right. That was his plan. Here, I sold 1,000 plus of these. I'm only going to give you $600, not $10,000.
Still astonished by that one gunslinger, the $600 gunslinger.
The $600 gunslinger in materials, $600 in materials out of alligator skin, and he wanted Richie to pay for that.
Right.
Out of his share.
Right.
And everyone's okay with that. Joseph's okay with that. Mario's okay with that. Let's fucking, who cares? You know what I mean? But if it was Mario or Joseph getting fucked out of money, guess who would be talking about it? Me.
So you're sitting there going, well, Richie should feel just lucky that a manufacturer picked up this product and he's making the $7,000. That Perry Tate made over $100,000 on this product. Who's the one that should be thankful? You get what I'm saying?
Well, Perry will counter that with, I had to buy sewing machines and trade and staff and buy dude, you're in fucking China, bro.
Right. You spent $20,000.
Pennies. You're spending pennies on the fucking dollar to get this thing off. Right. Richie's the one that did all the hard work, designing it, prototyping it, us fucking testing it. All you got to do is take the pattern. All you got to do is take the pattern, sew it together, make sure it don't fucking leak, and put it in a box. That's all you got to do. And I'm not trying to make slight of that, but you know what I mean. It could have been done a different fucking way. You just chose the shortcuts.
Obviously, they don't even hire quality control people. You know what I mean?
No.
So,
well, you've seen that the guys are getting 30. The guys were getting 30-day trials that were double tested, water tested in the factory and by Indira in Kansas City, Missouri, so they wouldn't have any leaky gunslingers. And guys are getting leaky ones still.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Because they're not doing it. I mean, they don't realize they're not putting it together right, and that shit's just seeping into it, right. And eventually it's going to leak.
This is the problem. All you had to do, the Gunslinger 1.1 is a total fucking, it's a laugh.
Right.
The back pocket is not big enough to take two channels like it used to. Everything's kind of stacked up on itself. That's fucked up. The compartment for the washer is too tight now, so it fucking wrings the mop out when you stick it in. That wasn't an issue before.
What a fucking waste, man. What a waste of a great product. I mean, this guy had the biggest product of last year, and it's going to be. It's not going to sell shit this year. Nothing. No.
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to sell or it ain't going to sell. But
Unger's got a new box coming out. You know.
Right. Well, Richie had an idea, and he has a design that could have changed the way guys. It could have changed the whole industry way guys clean, glass. It would have answered all the problems that we didn't like about buckets on a belt. And when guys started getting them, it did the exact opposite of what we tested. You know what I mean? And you're not getting that. You can't put lightning back in a fucking bottle.
So
and Go ahead.
Let me explain this scenario. That Gunslinger I ordered, the day you guys went down to Kansas City, I ordered a Gunslinger. So it took me, I've gotten 3 so far. That was for Ron. Like, Ron's just like, dude, I can't eat, because he realizes it leaks. He goes, I won't even touch it. It won't go around, because every one of them was a problem. Ron was going to, like, load up on reshoot gear. Like $5,000-$6,000 order. That's gone. That's gone. Just because you couldn't get a quality product out of a Gunslinger. You know what I mean?
Same way with me and the people that ask me for recommendations, and the same way with Mark. I can't recommend the dude anymore because he's a shady fucker.
Right. I mean, the shit's always breaking. You're always having people beta test your shit. You're still not getting it right after it's beta tested, obviously, with the 1.1.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know, the whole 1.1 thing is
don't take advice from Eric Bland. He's not on the rouse like most people, you know?
That part bites the most for me, because why couldn't you just take what you're trying to do with the 1.1 and just make the Gunslinger the way you started? Just take the pattern that Richie gave you and the same material level like you're trying to do now, and apply it to that instead of changing the dimensions. And because he can say that he didn't, but you change the dimensions, you're adding fucking screws so it don't tip. Here's a newsflash: if you don't unhook that fucking buckle and sew it on the inside like it's supposed to be, it's not a problem. And guess what? It only tips if you want it to.
Right.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make tipless tip jars, but they're still gonna fucking tip, but it's gonna be a mechanical fastener. How fucking ignorant is that? Right. It's so fucking stupid.
Well, guys say they don't.
I mean, and guys are eating it up like, man, that's such a good idea. What the fuck are you talking about? Goddamn, how stupid are people?
I mean, one of the first things I do when I go outside of a house is I grab my shit out and I tip my water out. It's just habit at this point. I use that tip jar every day, all the time. You know what I mean? I've got a splashing issue, but I've got it under control. You know?
Right.
So I'm still using my digital camo, but once that's gone, it's gone. I don't have another good Gunslinger except my prototype.
But I guess what this really is all about is the Gunslinger and what we've learned. What we've learned from this whole scenario. And that is, we kind of, in a sense, kind of lost ourselves in the Gunslinger, the promotion of the Gunslinger. We went hard body karate trying to help Richie, you know what I'm saying? Right. And in the meantime, we let a fucking snake into the garden. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what we did. We let Perry in, and he piggybacked up off our shit.
Well, he grabbed a hold of our attention with WCR, and he grabbed a hold of the Luke and Outlaw issue, and he just, I mean, he.
And I really feel like he compounded that fucking issue.
Right.
I mean, anyone that's heard any of my videos, like the shit that he said privately that I fucking leaked onto YouTube, you guys, I mean, the dude he's a cunt, man. And if you think that's bad, I could do even worse, but I just chose not to. I cherry picked what I wanted out of there. Trust me, there's way worse than that. He knows it, and I know it. You know what I mean? So, you know, it is what it is. Have you or a loved one been terrorized by the big feets? If you have, call 1-800-mesothelioma. No, that ain't it. 1-800-wet-em-willie. And I will read you a big feets forever. Guaranteed. Yeah. Bigfoot scat. I like the smell of the stuff. Yeah. Hey, how y'all doing? This is a special announcement from yours truly, Wet 'em Willie, about them big feetses. You ever been anally penetrated by Bigfootses? I quit the window cleaning industry and I'm going into the big feetses tracking industry. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to track down big feetses for everybody. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Bigfoot scat. I like the smell of the stuff. And I will come to your neighborhood
and I'll search for the big faces. I got these gloves for picking up scat. These are my scat gloves. You can see they're kind of yellow. It's from the scat. I track a lot of big feetses. Big feetses are scary if you don't know what you're doing. They stink. It's a pungent smell. I want to catch me one. Yep. Catch me one of them big feetses. He got a hold of me once already. That's where I've been. Been in the hospital. Took 17 stitches to sew up my rear end. I'm all good now, though. The turd cutter's fine. $15.99. I'll come to your house and I'll find big feetses for you. If you got big feetses, I'll find them. I find the nest, I find the scats, and I eliminate both, as well as the Bigfoots. Big feetses and big feetses, Bigfootses, Bigfoot, Sasquatches. We find them all. Yetis, swamp apes, all of it. All of it. Sharper's bear claws and slinger and goose shit, boy. Woo! Call Wet 'n Willie. And I'll find big feetses for you. And big feetses is a thing. They're a thing. They're real. And that's it. That's all I can say. Is they're real and they're a thing. You gotta watch out for the scats. That's what you got these gloves here for, is the scats. Yep. Definitely Sasquatch scat. Yep. Sasquatch scat. Yep. I don't know, but you get rid of them once you infiltrate the nest. Yeah. So, this has been Wet 'n Willie. I know it was supposed to be a Bigfoot moment with old T-Squeege, but, it's Wet 'n Willie's, Sasquatch second. And, hey, I like the big feetses. I want to set them out in the wild. They shouldn't be all cooped up. Out cornholing dogs and stuff, Hey, this has been Wet 'n Willie, and this is a Bigfoot moment with that other dickhead. All right, y'all. Hey, sharper than bear claws and slicker than goose shit, ain't you? Man, 'cause now I hunt Bigfoots still. Woo!
The dude is, he's a grimy bastard. You know what I mean? Right. And I'll admit, and I'll still say this to this day, I've never had a problem with one of his polls. I haven't had a problem with one of his polls. I'll say that. But the Gunslinger's a hunk of shit. The Constructor Brush, hunk of shit. He can't, that check it valve thing, that's a money grab. It's pointless.
I think if you're wanting to bring water-fed pole technology into the United States, I think Perry's setting it back a decade doing what he's doing right now.
Yeah. It's, and, maybe he's found his niche in guys that are unawares or don't care. They're just like, I'm adding
something that's going to carry him over till the next year, I think. It's a survival mode.
Yeah, I found a way to eke this out and maybe weather this storm, but I'm not going anywhere.
But it's setting it back in the United States. Yeah. It really is.
I'm not going anywhere. Outlaw Window Cleaner's not going anywhere. Richie Blue's not going to go anywhere. All of this shit's not going to go anywhere. And we will be here to smash any horse shit that comes our way. You know what I'm saying?
Your narrative won't be able to be spun.
Yeah, the narrative. Yeah, and that's another thing. Now that we've gotten through that, well, we might as well talk about that total fucking shithead Lee.
Man, he's let me down so bad. He let me down so bad. I was such a fan of him and his videos and just that guy, just in general.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I've never. I mean, I was only nice to him because of you. There was something about that dude that rubbed me the wrong way from jump.
Window Wars is what got me into YouTube. Peter Artusa and Chris Lamborghini's when they did that Window Wars with Lee. That was a really good two episode series. So if you haven't watched it, watch it. You'll get a different respect for Peter, because Peter's knowing where Peter was.
I love Peter. I think
right.
Peter's a great
and know
dude.
where he's at now. He bought Chris's company. Think of that.
I feel.
Think of that. That's
I feel
crazy.
like I had because I used to speak to Peter here and there, and then I know Peter used to be active in our group, and ever since all this stuff happened, that kind of went away.
Well, he's on the
understand.
FCA board, and now
I understand that.
He still likes all our posts and stuff, but I mean, he's still got to take a different perspective on it.
He's got to take a different perspective on it, but he's got a really good relationship with Lee too, and I understand that. I don't have that. Yeah, I don't have that relationship with Lee.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Lee as a person is a bad dude. I'm not saying that, because my interactions with him, he was always at first very nice and cordial with me, and I think that might have just been because you were my friend, so he extended me that kindness. But his actions over the last 3 or 4 months privately, and dude,
it's crazy. I mean, just not even listening to anything.
I'm not even gonna out the fucking dude for the shit, but he just, dude. Right. And then the stuff that he's doing in his window cleaning magazine, air quotes, that shit. I mean, that one-sided fucking
false.
Yeah, that one-sided faux news, not Fox, F-A-U-X, Fox, fucking so faux fake news shit that he's doing. That's bullshit. The narrative that the reason why we turned on Perry and the Gunslinger is because of Chris Lambrinides, it couldn't be fucking further from the fucking truth. There's not one shred of that is the fucking truth.
Right.
Me and Chris were at each other's fucking throats up until 2 or 3 months ago. We were still there. We
December.
Tried.
It was December.
Yeah, till December. December.
Middle December is when we all Christmas, all that stuff. But we also knew that. Well, we'd seen the narrative that Perry was trying to do, keeping us as the bad guys and keeping outlaw. You know what I mean? And him trying to be that community leader.
December 13th, because it was around Savannah's
That's when Luke
birthday.
and I blew up at each other.
Yeah,
that's when I said, I'm done. I said, I'm done.
Because I remember you come on the podcast and we talked about it, and you were like, I'm done with all this shit. You know what I mean? And it wasn't but a couple of days later, I reached out to Chris, and I was like, you know what, dude? What we're going to do is we're going to move into this next year. We're going to drop all this fucking drama, all this fucking bullshit. And let's try to move past this, and just as the community as a fucking whole, just get along. You know what I'm saying?
That was a 5-week process, though. That wasn't something that happened overnight. I mean, it took a lot of us in the background.
Alex and Chris invited me, you, and Mark into a Facebook Messenger group, and we were trying to iron out details for one of them to come on the podcast. And we ended up halfway, about a week of that, all three of us left. We were like, fuck this. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because they were still like, fuck you guys, kind of. We were still like, fuck you guys, kind of. You know what I mean? It wasn't until after the New Year, or it was right around Christmas, New Year's, we kind of we started to even out, and
December
we buried the
13th
hatchet.
was that day that Luke and I just we had the worst day ever. It just everything came to a boil. It started at noon. Him and I are going back and forth in Messenger, screaming at each other, threatening lawyers, doing all this shit. I mean, we were just acting like fools, both of us.
Yeah. Right.
And Trish trying to piss the other one off. And then by the time I got back to the house that night, it was like 7 o'clock at night. I'd wasted the majority of my afternoon pissed off about the situation. So I just I messaged Luke. I said, listen, just give me a call. He called me. He was pissed when he called me. And I just started apologizing as soon as because when he goes, what do you want? And I just said, listen, I fucked both our days up. I don't ever want to do this again. This should have never leaked into our personal business. We don't really have an issue right now. We're arguing about stupid shit. Yeah. We're about to take each other to court, spend thousands of dollars over fucking YouTube. You know what I mean?
Well,
and then
that's when
that was it. I didn't hear from Luke for a month. We didn't talk for a month. We just let shit just go away, and then him and I started talking in the background after that.
Well, I had started speaking to Chris privately, just him and I, and I'd say, just before Christmas, and he's like, man, he goes, I like the fact that you guys, are going to just be like, he goes, I'm glad that you guys and Luke are not going to start, you guys are done arguing. I think that's the best for everybody. He said, I think it's good for Luke. in his personal life, he doesn't have to deal with that shit because it's really starting to affect him. And he goes, and I can see that it's really starting to affect you guys and what you guys are trying to do. And it would be beneficial to both of you guys, you and Luke, to just bury the hatchet. And the YouTube community as a whole could come together. You know what I'm saying? All the while, Perry didn't want that. Perry didn't want that. Perry didn't want that. No. He did not want that. And this right here is the peace offering that Chris sent me. Chris sent me this book. No indication of who sent it to me.
Right.
No, he didn't say happy fucking Merry Christmas, nothing like. I just got this in an Amazon package. And I was like, man, where did this fucking book come from? And then you could see my bookmark right there.
Yeah.
Which I read it, I read it, maybe once or twice a week. I get in there, read a chapter or two. But I'd say after the holidays, after New Year's and all that stuff, Chris reached out to me. He's like, hey, did you get that book I sent you? And I was like, you sent me that book? And he's like, yeah. I was like, man, I appreciate that, dude. He goes, I think you'd like. He goes, I figured you'd like it. He goes, I like the book. And he goes, I think you'll get something out of it. We kind of think alike. You know what I mean? Right. He said, I feel like, and Chris, this is what changed my view of Chris, is Chris said to me, he's like, I feel like if we lived in the same town, you and I would be friends. He goes, I feel like you and I would be good friends if we lived closer. And I was like, man, I'm really looking at this situation the wrong fucking way. I need to stop being so hard-headed and give this situation a chance to mend itself. You know what I mean? And stop being on the defensive. And I did the same
thing about me and Luke is that we lived in the same town, we'd probably be boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Well, and then, and to expound on that, after, having Luke and Rihanna on the podcast, which was the smart thing to do, because Luke and Rihanna are, for the most part, on YouTube, they are the face of our industry.
Absolutely, yeah.
They are the face of our industry. Whether guys would like to admit that or not, but the face of our industry on YouTube is Luke and Rihanna. Right. That dude does it right. It's his videos are edited well. He doesn't curse. He's not biased. Is now a very big thing for him. Videos, family friendly videos, and they're very informative. You know what I mean? He's got informative videos. If I do the exact opposite. I do the exact opposite.
Right. If you have issues,
but that's cool.
We're all cocky. We're all proud of what we do. We all shit on each other for your technique because we all have different techniques.
But that's just guys That's just guys being guys. You know what I mean? You suck, bruh. You know what I mean? Right. But it is what it is. But even getting to know Luke, I was like, man, talking to this dude, we have a lot of things in common. You know what I mean? And I'm like, shit. They're big Game of Thrones fans. You know what I mean? And I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. Right. Believe it or not, Luke told me this, and hopefully he doesn't get upset for me saying this here, but Luke said the thing that offended him the most was when we called him a liberal, because he's like, dude, I'm a reformed gun nut. You know what I mean? He goes, I'm not a liberal. You guys are dicks. You know what I mean? That pissed him off the most. So, and there's nothing wrong with that this way or the wrong. He was just funning around, but you know what I mean? He's a good dude, and his wife is a very nice person as well. Rihanna's a very nice person, and for them to reach out and be like, hey man, we would like to come on the show if your offer is really genuine, we'd like to come on the show. And to me that spoke volumes. And then as soon as the YouTube channel came back up, that wasn't no small task what he did. That was not, that was a couple of course, granted, he took it down, and he's ready. He's like, listen, he goes, I get it. He goes, I took the thing down. He goes, I have to own that.
Nobody thought that thing was coming back up, though.
None of us. Tim didn't. I didn't. I was like, you ain't never. I'm sure Tim's got it somewhere. I said, you ain't never getting that motherfucker back, so let's just move on. When I seen that channel come back up, I was like, well, what can I say? I can't, I got to stick to my word. If he gets that channel back, everything's cool with me. And he did that. And that speaks volumes for me. But I guess what really, I mean, we're talking about the Gunslinger and this last year, and we wanted to put a stamp on it before we got into the spring season and we start doing videos and start doing podcasts and start getting more guests on and having more people on the podcast. We wanted to get this because we promised everybody, not so much promised. We promised everybody, not promised. We told everyone that we were going to do an episode about the Gunslinger, and we didn't do it. And the reason why we didn't do it is because the three of us got together, and we were just like, dude, what are we, how much more are we going to talk about this? Right. The reason why that episode didn't happen is because we just didn't feel we should give it any more smoke. Just not there's no point in fanning the flames anymore. We have the luxury of the truth on our side. We're not making any of this shit up. Right. This shit went down the way we said it went down. And that's why I've put up the videos that I've put up with the confidence and the cockiness that I have, because I know that I'm not making none of this shit up. This shit, the only thing I'm guilty of in this entire thing is not being honest about it from the very fucking beginning. I should have said something sooner.
Well, the guys that are like...
But I'm Richie's we're Richie's buddies, and we didn't want to fucking hurt Richie.
Right.
But it just got to a point we just had to do something, man.
Why do you guys why are you guys on this? Why are you harping on it? Why do you care? Because Richie, I mean, to this point that, we can end up going back and forth on each other, which we have over the last couple of weeks, to where, I mean, we're passionate about this. Very. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a friend. This is a friend.
Yeah, and this is like you said, it's caused some tension between you and I.
Right.
Because you're like, man, I don't want to look like a sellout because we got carbon fiber poles and we're not talking about what Perry's doing to Richie. And I'm like, how much more can we say about it, dude? And you're like, I just don't want to abandon him. And you got a chip on your shoulder because you're the one that fucking made that interaction happen. So I didn't see it that way, and then after sitting back and thinking about it, I was like, well, I could see, but I want you to get to the point where you can't let that bother you, because Perry's a bad dude and that's not your fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You thought you were doing the right thing based on the information and knowledge that you had. And, guys like
I think if you would have been
Mario and guys like Mario and Joe and Eric Bland, even though he's a twat, these dudes are only doing the best that they can on the information that's afforded to them. I wish they would do a little more due diligence, but because I can assure you they're not. Perry Tate's not a good guy.
I wish you would have been involved 3 weeks sooner than you were involved in this whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because I don't think the contract would be the way it is now. I don't. You know what I mean? I think you would have been more on.
I'm very objective. I'm a read between the lines type of person. That's my heritage. I'm Scotch Irish. We are tight with our money and very fucking opinionated. I have no problem telling you if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, I'm gonna tell you it's a fucking duck. I'm not. It's a fucking duck, dude.
I think if you had been in those conversations with us, that contract would have been read through a little bit more.
Well, you say that because you know personally, because when this arrangement started to happen, I was the one that was like, dude, this motherfucker, there's something about this fucking dude I don't like it. You or Josh were like, you had your guard up. Why you always got to be like that? You know what I mean?
But you guys were always right on everybody that you had an issue with. Like, if there was an issue, I mean, there's guys that are like, this is a legit guy and we're good. But I mean, you guys called these bullshitters out immediately. You always have. Every single one of them. Kevin, you called out Kevin. You knew Eric. Who was it? James, all of them. You called them all out. You called out the bullshitters. It's the guys that just wanted to build off the brand.
Because I am more of a judge someone by their actions and not what they say type of dude. And you are the type of guy that will take someone for their word, at their word.
Yeah.
Because, they're saying it to you and you're like, this is a good guy because he said it. And that's just two different styles of growing up. I came up in a different, I came up in a different scenario than you did. So I'm always reading between the lines because of the way I was raised up. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's just, you always have to look. You got to watch. You know what I mean? Got to watch your back.
I'm an appeaser. I have an appeasing personality at all times.
Yes, you do.
Yes,
you do.
And I want to make sure.
I feel like that's a good trait.
Happen.
I think that's maybe why you and I, that's why the group goes the way that it goes and the podcast goes the way that it goes, is because, and, Mark as well, you guys,
we balance
Mark
each other.
We all three of us balance each other out, very well. And when Joshua's involved, we're a force to be reckoned with, in my opinion. Josh is just a super busy guy, but, this whole scenario, if I've learned anything, it's that this industry is full of behind the scenes ulterior fucking motives. There's always someone that is patting you on the back, but they've got their hand in your pocket, in your back pocket at the same fucking time, trying to get something off of you. And unfortunately, I feel comfortable saying that, but unfortunately, that's just the truth. That's just from what I've gathered, what I've seen. That's the truth. It's all about what can you do for me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And if I'm not doing, whether right or wrong, but right or wrong, even in this small of an industry, right or wrong, it's all about what can you do for me. All right. Well, you might be what you're saying might be the truth, but do you have anything that you can do for me? If not, I'm going with the dude that can do things for me, and that's the way this all turned out. Now we're the bad guys.
Right. All of a sudden,
even though Perry reached out. Perry made public all of his wrongdoing, people still rally to this guy like, oh, poor Perry.
Snapping that contract. Proven Snap broke the contract 5 or 6 times.
Yep.
In the hour he had that post up.
Just in his fucking emails. I mean, which I have all the emails.
Right.
I have his video, which you guys know is on YouTube, where he got on and talked all that shit and undermined the possible patent on the product and telling people they could make them. I'm going to put up videos showing you how to make Gunslinger so anybody can make one. I saved all that shit, put it on Facebook. You know what I mean? I saved Luke's video off of YouTube and posted it to my channel. So Luke's video about the Gunslinger is still up on YouTube. Even though it got yanked from Luke's channel, it's still on my channel. You know what I mean? Yeah. So and there's nothing that can be done about it on Facebook. That motherfucker's got like 40,000 Jesus.
Yeah.
But it's
Mate, you gave it too much attention when you had his copyright taken down.
All we want to do,
you know?
and the end of the day is this: we're not an outlaw window cleaner. We're not saying don't send us your products. We don't want to test them. If you want us to try out a product and talk about it on our YouTube channel or on our podcast, we will do that. We will do that, but expect complete and total transparency, because the what we did, allowing Perry to do what he did, not only harmed us, but it also harmed guys that listen to us. We should have said something sooner. We should have said something sooner, and we didn't. So that if I've learned anything, it's that I'm never going to do that again. I'm not falling for that shit ever again. It's never happening again. Perry is like, hey, man, this right here, I don't know, man. I'm going to fix that. Well, this dude keeps hitting me up in private messenger saying that his is leaking or the strap ripped on it. Oh, we're going to get that straightened out. And then another guy, and then another guy, and then another guy. And I'm like, just give me some time. He kept asking. He's like, please, just give me some time. Give me some time. Every time I mentioned it to him, he's like, can you talk to him or have him get in touch with me? If he could just keep it private for right now and give me time. Tob Laba is the guy that I'm speaking of. 4 fucking times he's had leaky Gunslinger. Never said a word about it. Perry asked for his silence, and he's, swore him to secrecy. And nothing was done about it. Nothing was done about it. And and finally, after going to Kansas City and all that shit that went down, the way he acted towards us, what he did with Mark not giving him his shit, how he played Joseph and made him work in his fucking store, and all that shit. he didn't buy him dinner either. He bought a plate of fucking meat and made everybody buy their own drinks and sides. So whatever. I mean, I went with 5 guys to BB's barbecue, or 6 guys. I don't know. There were 6 or 7 of us. I bought everybody dinner. I insisted. You know what I mean? Except for Josh. Josh Schoaf wouldn't fucking let me buy his dinner. He's such a prick. I fucking hate him. But after all that, you know, I was just like, you know, I'm tired of this fucking guy's excuses. And then Richie kept getting more and more distant after Kansas City. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? And then all of that shit came out after we had Josh on the podcast. And I was like, I'm wondering what's going on. I'm wondering what's going on with Richie. He's like, it's money.
Yeah, that's what
like,
he said.
What? He's like, it's money.
Right
he goes, right off the bat, he goes, the only reason, he goes, 99% of the time in business, if somebody's quiet or not happy, it's fucking money. And then boom, 2 days later, Perry comes out with his hair all fucked up, reading this stupid ass letter.
2 days later, but what happened a half hour after the podcast?
Oh,
fucking Richie Blue got paid. Richie Blue got paid.
That's what he said. That's what he said when we interviewed. Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Yep. Hypothetical turned into this motherfucker getting
74.
What do you say? Like, 30. He's like 45. He goes, I don't know if it was a coincidence or not. He goes, but an hour after the podcast was over, I had a PayPal payment.
Right.
So an hour after we went live and Josh said that, Richie got paid.
Right.
And then those videos come out of Perry.
Right.
And then
from a hypothetical on a podcast. It was a hypothetical on a podcast.
Because we had no fucking idea. We had no fucking idea. No clue. No clue the dude wasn't getting. Because if Richie would have came out and told me while we were in Kansas City, Missouri, that he hadn't gotten any fucking money, I would have. Oh, I would right there. Woo. Right, I would have been. We would have rolled that. Me, Mark Tanner, we would have rolled that fucking dude like a donkey.
Right.
It would have been in all the KC Mo videos. That's all we would have talked about. Trust me. Yeah. If I would have known, it would this whole situation would be different.
Dude.
But and then he comes out 2 days later with those fucking videos, the emails, the fucking contract, all that shit, and then
Travis McGee pointed out all the contract breaks in that thing.
Travis McGee fucking he deleted the post. Travis went through, read the contract, and said boom, 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 and then the post got deleted. The video came down because somebody read. Actually, he threw that shit up there thinking nobody was gonna look at it. You know what I mean? Nobody's gonna take the time. You know,
Once it's on the internet, it's there forever.
Yeah, and then what he didn't realize is that I took that shit and kept it. I downloaded. He put it out there, so I kept it. I screen grabbed this video, the whole 9 yards. I got you, player. As soon as Travis made that comment, I was like, I better fucking save all this shit because it's gonna go. And sure enough, as soon as Perry woke up and that next day and saw that fucking shit came down. The Casper thing in Black Diamond Rubber. I don't have anything personally against Casper. I don't have anything personally against Black Diamond Rubber. I like the stuff. I'd continue to buy it, but I will not give Perry Tate money. I won't do it. I actually bought something in, I think it might have been November. I ordered when we were in the thick of counting when was fucking Mark gonna get his shit. I bought a bunch of scrubs. I bought the stainless steel blue woven scrubs and the white non-scratch scrubs from Perry, and that was the last order because I waited fucking a month and a half for fucking a dozen rubber.
Right. And
I was just like, dude, it's enough.
So with the Casper thing, let's talk about Casper real quick. With Casper, I think he got caught up in the heat of everything. I mean, the biggest part of June, July, when the Black Diamond came out that it was going to be a Reach It product. That was when the Gunslinger was at the tippy top. We were still promoting everything hardcore. And he's like, yeah, this is a good thing. I would, you got the biggest product 2018 going. I'm going to get hooked up with these guys. If I pair
the softest edge with the sharpest edge in Black Diamond, it's an automatic. And that's what Perry sold him on.
Right.
Well, he reached out to us privately. He sat when we started making some waves. I don't care. He called us.
Right.
He's like, "Can I talk to you guys?" And we were like, "Okay, well, let's talk." So we talked, and he's like, can you guys just cool it for a little bit and let me get this straightened out? You're stressing Lee out, or not Lee, Richie out. Can you just cool it? Because this is affecting Richie, and you guys don't think you are, but it's affecting Richie. And I'm like, all right, cool. Because we weren't talking to Richie at the time, and I was like, all right, cool. So, what was it? A few hours that evening, Perry put out that fucking video.
Yep.
Fucking going hard body karate, talking about he's gonna put up all the design videos, show people how to make it. I'm releasing the contract. I'm releasing our private emails. Da 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 da. And Richie came on the podcast, and then we were off and rolling.
Right.
The reason why we did, because what we were told in that Skype conversation with Casper, Perry did the exact fucking opposite of. And then that's when Richie's like,
he's trying to neuter us.
Well, then now you see Black Diamond Squeegee overseas right now is selling fucking Gunslingers at 30% off. So there obviously he had a stake in the game, and Richie was.
Well, he was the mediator.
Richie
also.
was Richie. Well, listen, and that's the thing. That's what I'm getting to is Richie had the foresight. He's like, wait a minute, these guys are in business together, and you want him to mediate. You know what I mean? He's clearly, even though he's not saying, hey, Casper can't be honest. He's just saying it's not ethical for you to be involved in this between me and Perry because you have something to gain or lose.
Right.
You know what I mean? You need to state, there's someone from the outside needs to be brought in for this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not you. Someone needs to mediate this that has no tie, no emotional tie, no financial tie to this.
Nothing in window cleaning at all,
And then once he said that to him, that was it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. But I'm going to continue to champion Richie. That will stay here on the bottom of every podcast.
Perry always talked about the mediator in his videos. Always. Mm-hmm. I had a mediator do this. He never mentioned it was Casper.
Never
mentioned it was Casper.
There's a reason why he didn't mention Casper as the mediator.
Because he's doing the narrative
publicly,
spin.
Because publicly it wouldn't look good. Anyone with common sense would be like, "What the fuck?"
It looks good if you say I'm using a mediator.
Yeah, it looks good if you're using a mediator, but it doesn't look good if you're transparent and say, "Oh, my business partner is the guy that's mediating it." Right. It also looks good when you say, "Hey, I paid all of Richie's fucking legal bills." No, you didn't. You still owe him money.
Right.
So until that initial amount of money where you sold 1,000 Gunslingers at $10,000, you didn't make good on. You only made good on some of it. Right. Technically, that still came out of Richie's pocket. Right. Still. So you still didn't make good on that. You still haven't made good. The guy is a consummate pile of shit, that dude. Right. And
he spends his whole time spinning.
I don't want to see Perry. I don't wish ruination on Perry and his company, but I do wish that people know the truth.
Right.
And then they can make their decisions, like Joseph and Mario, on whether or not they want to support someone like that. If that's who you want to support, that's fine. There's also some things that are being said about we've made threats to people, which is the most fucking ridiculous fucking thing ever. What kind of threats exactly am I making? Prove that. You're so willing to tell everybody the truth, Perry. Prove that. Show me where I said to someone privately, if you talk about the Gunslinger, I'm coming after you. Alls I said was if you support Perry Tate and fucking reach it, then you're no friend of mine or Richie Blues. Period. Right. Point blank. End of fucking discussion. And there's no one anywhere can tell me differently. You cannot be me. You can't be my buddy and Richie's buddy and think that what Perry's doing is cool and want to buy shit from him when he's clearly a rat bastard. Integrity is something that you do when nobody's fucking looking, not when your feet are fucking held to the fire. He has no integrity. It wasn't until we said something that he decided to make better Gunslingers. You're fucking welcome. It wasn't until we said something that he decided to pay Richie. You're fucking welcome. It wasn't until we said something that he was held accountable for what he was doing.
Right.
You're welcome. So anything that Perry does from here on out, you're welcome, because we're the ones that drove him to it. Because if we wouldn't have said nothing, you'd still be getting them shitty gunslingers that he was selling in Kansas City, all the shitty pre-orders that he fucking sent out. You'd still be getting the same fucking thing if we hadn't have said nothing. Well, I'm coming out with the 1.1. He wasn't coming out with the 1.1 or any of that fucking shit until all this shit went down. That's when he got into combat mode. And then all of a sudden you start seeing these poorly put together 1.1s, wrinkly fucking skins in his videos. They look like shit.
Only thing he has to do is come out and say, hey, I didn't have time. I didn't do it properly. I should have done this. I should have done that. Let's get this right. You fix a lot of shit.
I should have listened to the guys that were saying, dude, aren't you rushing this?
Right.
Because I know I said it, and I know I heard Richie say it a couple of times. I know before the podcast, that banter we had before all those Gunslinger podcasts that we did.
Right.
Richie said, he goes, I just don't want to rush it. Oh, we'll be fine, mate. Hey, TJ! Well, you know what I mean?
5%. It's not a 5% fail rate, guys. I mean, I don't have a good gunslinger except for, I mean, my one lasted 6 months before it started splashing. So, I mean, I want
people to tell me that they think Mark's lying when he says, I bought 4 of these and all 4 have fucking fallen apart. Tell me how that's a lie. I want you to tell me that I didn't get 4 of them. I didn't have 5 of them. Every single one of them had a fucking issue. The one guy that won that fucking Gunslinger, the Gunslinger giveaway that we did, I can't remember his name. I've never heard a word from him, so I don't know if his works or not. I gave one to fucking Ben Marino. Listen, I sent Ben Marino a Samurai and a Gunslinger, and he gave the fucking Gunslinger away.
That bad.
After, like, man, I want that Gunslinger. Will you send me one? Will you send me one? Will you send me one? And I send him one, and he fucking gave it away. Fuck that dude. Fuck you,
why would he give it away?
I don't know, dude. Whatever. I spent all that money sending it down there to him. I sprayed the inside so it wouldn't fucking leak on him, wouldn't seep. Did all of that shit for him, and he gave it away. It's just like, dude, fuck. I'm done with that, dude.
Yeah, I got three since September that are leaking.
Did you see his live stream in the Tucker fan page group? Did you see that?
No, because he went live when we were live. Like, thanks, dude. What'd he do?
We pulled like 2 viewers, but just the shit that he was saying, it's just like, Jesus, dude.
I'll have to check it out and see what it looks like.
It's bad.
Well, he's still learning.
He's a kid, but fuck you for that. I got it in the chat there. He's begging for fucking that gunslinger. Right. I want it. Here, take this. When I get free shit, I give it away. Whatever then, dude. I could have gave it to that fucking dude. You know, plenty of dudes would have took that and used it and not been a twat about it. You know what I mean? Right. So whatever. I don't want to get off on a tangent, but I just, we wanted to do this. It's already in an hour, 20 minutes. We went way longer than what we wanted to. Yeah. But, in closing, what we've learned from the Gunslinger is that Perry Tate is not a man of his word.
Right.
From our experience, and the guys are going to get on here and comment on this on YouTube and be like, dude, Perry's so awesome and he's so good to me. And So what you're saying can't be true because he was nice to me. Right. It can't be true. Yeah, we weren't just like completely fucking in bed with this dude, dick to butt, like a big dick to butt sandwich.
We weren't this guy's bulldogs for 9 months.
Yeah, we weren't this guy's bulldogs for 6 months. I wasn't talking to this dude on a daily fucking basis for almost 9 fucking months. So what would I know? You know what I mean? What do I know? He wasn't coming on our podcast. He wasn't taking his fucking product and putting slapping our logo on it and changing it up and calling it a Gunslinger. Right. For fuck's sake, he named all the colors and patterns after American ghost towns.
Right.
Gunfighting towns. Come on. How much more outlaw window cleaner does that need to fucking be for you guys?
Right.
Jesus. The guy's he's a shitbag, and it would be better if he would just make good products. Stop selling people things 14 fucking times. Get it right the first time.
I'm telling you what,
beta
our
test
from now on in this group.
Yeah,
our promise to this group is that we're not going to allow fucking people like this in the group anymore. People that are going to fuck you over, we apologize. We allowed this guy, and he made a lot of money off the group.
And that doesn't mean to say and that's not to say that if you have a Reach It product that you're a fan of and you're not allowed to post about it in group.
No, you can post about that. I'm just saying we're not going to let.
We're not saying that. We're just not going to let this dude come in. Guys like Perry come in and take advantage of you. We're not going to allow it to happen anymore.
Right.
It's not going to happen anymore. You love your Gunslinger. You love your Reach It products. Great.
Man, I hope he gets it right.
Yeah, I hope he gets it right. I hope that Perry Tate gets Gunslingers down so well that he has to cut fucking Richie $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 fucking checks left and right. That's what I hope.
Right.
I hope Perry makes Richie a fucking millionaire. That's what I hope.
Right.
Great. Right. Grand. If you guys want to buy fucking 4 leaky Gunslingers a year, by all means do that. Do that. I want you to. Right. If you don't mind paying $100 for something that's going to fall apart in 6 fucking months, keep giving him the money because Richie's going to benefit from it. Hopefully, Perry, sticks by his word and keeps fucking paying him. You know what I mean? He hasn't. I mean, I don't think he. I haven't spoken to Richie about it, but I don't think Richie hasn't said anything about him getting the rest of the money that he's owed. So,
right.
There's that. You know what I mean? But he'll most likely what he'll end up doing is dragging his feet on every single fucking payment. That's most likely what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
And what he doesn't understand is Richie's got a squeegee and a pole in his hand, and you're not gonna keep that dude down. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna keep him down. He's gonna continue to make money, and when your money comes, it'll come. You know what I mean? He don't give a fuck. I think Richie's moved on from all of this. And people, I would like to say this. People are always like, why are you guys saying this shit? Why doesn't Richie say anything? Because we say something because we're not legally bound in a contract that we could be fucking sued over. You know what I mean? If Richie comes out and says how he exactly feels about the situation, it's probably not going to go well for him. He's probably going to get fucked.
What's Perry going to do? Sue us? Is he going to come to the United States and sue us for slander when we can sit there and break apart his narrative? I mean, we have the truth on his narrative in the background. Just
I have every fucking interaction that I've ever had with that dude, so he can eat
You can't do anything to us. We have the truth. You can't sue the truth.
I'm gonna take your YouTube channel down. Well, guess what, fucko? I'll start another one.
Right.
You won't. I don't care. I'll start another one. The subscribers don't matter because the word's gonna get out. The subscribers and all that shit. I have every video I ever fucking had. It's saved. I keep everything on external hard drives. So you take my channel down, I'll just upload all the fucking videos you don't like first and keep doing the podcast. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you know what? We can share this from here to Facebook, and everyone will still watch it, and you can still eat a bag of dicks, ho. So, whatever, whatever. But we just wanted to get on here and kind of just lay it all out and let you guys know. We haven't given up on Richie. We haven't turned our backs on Richie for carbon fiber poles or because we're friends with Chris and Luke now. We just don't see any reason from here on out in beating on this fucking shit.
Right. Every day.
It just doesn't. Every episode, just that's all we talk about. Guys like Jason Lehman are taking the legal approach and filing with the Federal Trade Commission. If you feel like you've been wronged, get a hold of Jason Lehman privately on Facebook, and he'll steer you in the right direction because it's a thing. So he's actually doing so. We just would like to let you guys know that we're not abandoning the issue. We'll be free Richie Blue, ride or die until the end of time. Richie's our friend. And we're just not going to talk about it on the podcast and our videos and all that shit constantly anymore just because it serves no purpose. We just want to move on and do awesome interviews like we just got doing with Tom Tumath and we want to have, we don't want to discourage people from coming on the show because of what we talk about. Right. And that was a problem when we shit on Luke, when we shit on WCR, when we shit on fucking Perry, no matter who it is we're shitting on. It doesn't behoove our audience or us to beat dead horses and, because it makes us look bad and it makes the industry look bad. Right. And we will, like I said, if the guy comes out and does some stupid ass shit or burns somebody or burns Richie, trust me, we'll be the first to let you know.
You know how to bulldog.
We know how to bulldog, and I've got plenty of fucking ammunition. My banana clip is loaded with Perry shit. I can go all day. I can put a fucking video up right now that'll fucking boil his blood. You know what I mean? I got him stacked. So, but I just want everybody to know that we appreciate your guys' viewers on the podcast. We appreciate the subs to our YouTube channels. We appreciate your membership to our group, and I think by the end of this year, I think everyone's going to look at Outlaw Window Cleaner, and the guys on the podcast especially, and some guys from Kansas City, Missouri. Everyone's going to look at what we have been doing and what we've been saying a lot differently once everything comes to pass. I wish I could tell you guys more about what we're working on, but I feel like what we're working on is going to be something super special. And once it's all finalized and done properly, it's going to be the most transparent, helpful thing in our industry, I feel like. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be super dope. But we appreciate you. Go to Outlaw Window Cleaner on YouTube and give it a sub and a like, and like some videos and comments. He's got 2 channels. Which one do you want him to go to? The vlog channel? Both channels?
The vlog's going to be the main channel.
Yeah, go to the vlog channel, give it a like, give it a view, you know what I mean? Share it around. You can share my video and my page around, subscribe. Maybe you'll get a t-shirt. You know, we're talking about giving away a free Outlaw Window Cleaner t-shirt at the end of the month after the subs. You guys sub to our channels, and you might win a free t-shirt and a Squeegee Life sticker. So we appreciate you guys, and hopefully we cleared some things out. Again, I wish Kevin the Window Cleaner, James Riley, Eric Bland, Mario, fucking Joseph Henry, all the guys that we brought up in this podcast besides Lee Burbridge and Perry Tate, they both can go fuck themselves. But those other guys that we mentioned, Jacob Dell, fucking the guys that we're no longer cool with because of this, I wish you guys all the best. I've got no animosity towards you guys. I don't have no venom for you. I'm not going to shit on you no more. I know Tim feels the same way. You know, we're standing strong in our beliefs, and I feel like at the end of the day, we will we're not going to look like the dickheads at the end of this. You know what I mean? Right. What we're doing, just based on what we know, we are doing the right thing, and we've said what we've said for the right reasons, not for our own benefit or anything like that. But what we've said.
We assumed when we started this that we would be done because we thought we lost all of our integrity, or all our integrity for supporting this product at that point. And supporting this guy.
We were just like, fuck, man.
Yeah. I mean, we were at that point. We could either shut up, be quiet, not say a word, and just kind of let it die off, or do the right thing and
start to come out instead of privately being like, dude, what the fuck, coming out publicly, you fucking guys said this thing was cool and it ain't. You know what I mean? And people don't realize that. These guys that are mad at us don't realize that for fucking months we got guys in our inbox blowing us the fuck up. You know what I mean? Right. So it is what it is, man.
Yep.
But this is a special edition. We'll check you guys out later, man. We'll peace you the fuck out. See you later, Tim.
See you, dude.